kind of just bend your knees, have your feet up on the mat, and kind of place your hands just on your belly. Let your knees fall together. We're just going to take a few breaths here. Just kind of feeling your hands rise and fall with your belly. Let's take one more breath in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth, blow it out. Then we're just going to pick both feet up off the mat and kind of have your legs up in a tabletop position to where your hips are at a 90-degree angle, your knees are at a 90-degree angle. You can kind of put your hands on your thighs. From here, we're just going to alternate and tap our toes. So I'm going to take my right toes, tap them down to the mat, bring them back up. Then I'm going to do the left leg, tap, back up. And we're just going to alternate a few times, toe tapping. Start to feel your core fire up a little bit. Just going to do this a couple more times with both legs. And then from here, go ahead and straighten your left leg all the way out onto the mat. Keep your right leg where it's at. We're going to do a little bit of internal and external rotation with the right leg. So you're just going to kind of bring your right foot over towards the left side of you. Knee stays bent like it is, and then your foot's going to go over towards the right side. We're just going to kind of swing it left to right a few times, just warming up the hip. Go ahead and bring your left leg back up to meet the right leg. Right leg's going to straighten all the way down onto the mat. And then we're going to do the same thing with the opposite leg. So you're just going to rotate that hip in and out. This one more time. Right leg's going to come back up to meet the left leg into a tabletop position. You're going to hug your right knee in towards your chest. The left leg goes out straight. And then we're going to alternate. Left knee hugs in towards your chest. Right leg goes out straight. And we're going to alternate this a few times. So right, hug that knee in, and then left leg. Hug your knee in. Let's keep alternating. And then whatever knee is hugged into her chest, go ahead and just hold it there. Just let that opposite leg just kind of be on the mat all the way, completely relaxed. Don't forget to breathe. Let's go ahead and alternate. Hug that knee in towards you. And hold. And you can let that go. You're gonna bring both feet up onto the mat again, knees are bent. From here, you're gonna press into your feet, lift your hips up off the mat into a bridge pose. You're just gonna hold. And then you can stay here if you'd like. Or if you want to, we can go into a marching bridge where you pick one foot up off the mat and then bring it back down. Then you're gonna alternate picking one foot up, marching it in towards your chest. So just slowly alternating right and left leg. Trying to keep your hips even. Don't let one sag down towards the mat. Keep them both up nice and high. And then let's go ahead and just meet back into that bridge pose. Lift your hips up a little bit higher and hold. Feel your hamstrings start to turn on. And then go ahead and slowly lower your hips all the way back down to the mat. From here, you're gonna widen your feet to where they're about on each edge of your mat. Let your knees kind of fall together. And then from here, let's go ahead and just let our knees fall over towards the right side of the mat, and then rock over towards the left side. Let's just kind of let them rock side to side, just getting a little bit more mobility in the lumbar spine, just kind of rotating here, left to right. Let's go one more time each side. And then you can just meet me back in that neutral position. You can kind of roll over onto your side and just press up into a seated position. You can kind of curl your legs under you into a seated position. You can just kind of relax your shoulders. And let's go ahead and put our hands on both of our knees. We're going to do some spinal circles while we're here. So you're just going to kind of curl your back, tuck your chin, and then you're just going to rotate over towards right or left side, doesn't matter. And then you're going to arch the back, go over to the opposite side. Let's just take a few circles here. Just kind of make them as big as you can. Let's do one more this direction. And once you get all the way to the back, let's just go ahead and switch directions. Let's do one more this direction. And once you get that, just come back up nice and tall. Again, relax your shoulders. I'm going to tilt my right ear, bring it towards my right shoulder. Stretching out the left side of the neck. Tilt and roll my head forward, and then take a couple neck circles. And then I'm going to tilt my left ear over towards my left shoulder and hold and breathe. the head forward. Let's take a few neck circles this direction. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my mat so I'm in the right direction. And then from here you can just kind of bend your knees out in front of you, feet are on the mat, hands can be just kind of at your seat beside of you. I'm just going to tilt back a little bit, feel my core start to fire up a little bit. You can place your hands behind your knees, just kind of bend it back as far as you want to. You can stay right here, or you can kind of pick the feet up off the mat a little bit. Challenge your core a little bit more. Let's just kind of hold and stabilize ourselves. If your feet are up, go ahead and place them back down onto the mat. Straighten the legs all the way out in front of you. Hands are still by your side. Toes are pointed straight up towards the ceiling. Your shoulders are back, head is over your shoulders, into a staff pose. You can even kind of tighten your core here. Hold yourself up nice and tall. And then from here, I'm just going to have you make your way into a tabletop position if you can. Just kind of swinging around on hands and knees. So hands are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. And we're just going to take a few cat-cows here. So you're going to drop the belly down towards your mat, look out in front of you. Exhale, arch the back up, drop the neck. And let's just do this a few times at your own pace, with your own breath. Let's do one more, make it as big as you can. And then just go ahead and meet me back in neutral. Let's bring our toes together, wind the knees a little bit, and then we're just going to sit back into a child's pose. Drop the chest down towards the mat, walk the hands out in front of you. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves back forward into that tabletop position. From here, if you're able, we're going to tuck the toes and straighten out the legs and just go into a down dog. Send the hips back behind you. Kind of just release the head down towards the mat. You can shake it yes and no. Just release some of that tension out there. Let's go ahead and just walk the feet towards the hands. slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Very slowly, let's roll up all the way up into a standing position. Okay. And here we're going to inhale, both arms go up overhead. I'm going to take my right hand, grab my left wrist. I'm going to laterally bend over towards the right, stretching out the left side of the body. And I'm just going to switch, grab the opposite wrist, bend over towards the left, kind of pull in your arm over towards the left side. And come back up to standing. I'm going to bring my hands out in front of me, kind of like into a cactus pose. I'm going to send my elbows back behind me, stretching out the chest. And arms go up again. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to forward fold down towards the ground. You can place your hands on your shins or your thighs, straighten the back, just kind of look out in front of you into a half lift. And then let's forward fold all the way back down again. Let's go ahead and place our hands on the mat. Set both feet back. You can be in a full plank pose, or you can have your knees on the mat, wherever you want to be. And if you haven't already, go ahead and drop the knees. Slowly lower yourself down onto your stomach. Let's go ahead and put our elbows underneath our shoulders. So you're kind of propped up onto your elbows. Send the shoulder blades back and squeeze and look out in front of you. And then go ahead and lower all the way back down. Hands are underneath your shoulders now. Press up into a little cobra pose. Chest is up off the mat. And if you'd like to, you can straighten the arms out and go into an up dog. We're going to send it back into another down dog. We're going to walk our feet towards our hands again. So you're kind of in that forward fold position. Now we're going to inhale, arms go up overhead, come up into standing. Exhale, release, arms down towards your sides. Okay, we're going to do a few standing postures now. So you're up at the top of your mat. Let's go ahead and step the right foot back onto the tippy toes, front leg is bent, arms are up overhead. We're going to go into a high lunge, making sure that left knee is just kind of staying over your toes. And then from here, we're going to twist into a warrior two position, back toes twist over towards the right. Arms come down and straight out in front of you. So warrior two. And then from here, I'm going to take my back hand, drop it down towards my thigh. Front palm flips up towards the ceiling. You're going to reach up overhead. Fingertips are reaching way up, making yourself really long, really tall. And I'm gonna bring that left forearm onto my thigh. Right arm goes up overhead by my ear to extended side angle. And what we're gonna do is just kind of alternate between those two positions. So I'm gonna swing back up into that extended warrior position. And then rotate back down into that extended side angle. Start to feel that front leg really fire up, keeping you stable. And go back into extended warrior. Go back into that side angle one more time. I'm just gonna hold for a few seconds. And you can come back up. Straighten out that front leg, give it a little break. I'm gonna twist to the front again. I'm gonna send it back into that high lunge position. I'm gonna bring my palms together, kind of reach back behind me, extend the back a little bit, look up. And you can bring your arms down, step that back foot back up to meet the front foot. Shake it out if you need to. Okay. Left foot's gonna step back behind you, bend that front leg. Arms go up overhead. High lunge. Fingertips are reaching up towards the ceiling. And breathe. Let's go ahead and twist into that warrior two position. Knees still over your toes, arms extended, reaching in opposite directions. Let's go ahead and go into that extended warrior position. Reach those fingertips up overhead. And let's kind of swing forward into that extended side angle. Arm reaching up by your ear. And then go back into extended warrior. Go back down. One more time. Reaching up. And then into that extended side angle, we're gonna hold just for a few seconds. And go ahead and come back up. Straighten that front leg out if you need to give it a little break. I'm gonna turn my back toes forward again. I'm just gonna go into that high lunge. And bring my palms together, kind of extend and reach my fingertips back just a little bit. And you can straighten out that front leg, arms come down, back foot comes up to meet the front foot. And shake it out. We're going to do a little bit of balance now. So I'm going to start with my right foot. You can kind of bring your heel onto the mat, or toes onto the mat, heel on kind of around your ankle. You can stay like this if you want to. You can bring it on your calf, like this, or you can bring it kind of up into your inner thigh. Wherever you want to be, and then your arms can kind of be in a prayer position. It can be up overhead. And you just pick a spot to look out on the floor or somewhere out in front of you. Just kind of work on balancing. down. We're gonna do the same thing on the opposite leg. So the same thing, bring your heel kind of onto your ankle. Stay like this, you can go calf. You can bring it into your inner thigh. Usually one side's harder on the other. We're always uneven, it seems like. And we're gonna bring both feet back down. Okay, so we're just back up in standing. We're gonna inhale, both arms are gonna go up overhead again. Exhale, forward fold. And go ahead and have your blocks nearby. I'm gonna place them both in front of my feet. So hands can go on the blocks. You can bend your knees a little bit if you need to. And then from here, I'm just gonna bend my right knee. Right hand's gonna stay on the block. I'm gonna twist over towards the left side. Left hand is gonna go up overhead. Let's go ahead and untwist. Hands go back onto the blocks. Bend the left knee, keep that left hand on the block, twist open towards the right. And go ahead and untwist, both hands come onto the blocks. You can just set them to the side for now. And then from here, you can bend your knees and put your hands back down onto the mat. You're gonna step your feet back into another plank pose. Again, you can have your knees on the mat if you need to. Then we're just gonna lower back down onto our stomachs. And then from here, I'm gonna put my hands back behind me. You're gonna squeeze everything, lift arms, legs, and chest up off the mat into a locust pose. You're squeezing your shoulder blades. And then go ahead and relax, let everything come back down. And then again, we're gonna lift up off the mat, arms, legs. And come back down. We're going to do that one more time. Lift everything up. And lower back down. And kind of put your hands out in front of you. Rest your chin or your face on your hands. You just kind of shake your hips out a little bit. And then I'm just gonna, while we're laying here, I'm gonna bend my right knee, kind of bring my heel back towards me, stretching out the quad a little bit. And go ahead and slowly lower that leg back down. Gonna bend my left leg back towards me. And hold. And go ahead and slowly lower down till you're all the way back down on the mat. From here, I'm gonna press up and go back into another child's pose. So bring your toes together, widen the knees, sit the hips back. Walk your arms out long, kind of bring your chest down towards the mat. And breathe. And then from here, I'm going to walk my hands over towards the right side of my mat. Still walking the hands out long. You should feel a good stretch in the left side of your body. Let's go ahead and slowly make our ways over towards the left side of your mat. Walk the hands out long. And you can go ahead and walk back to the center of your mat. Lift up into just a tabletop position. And from here, I'm just going to kind of make my way into another seated position. I'm just going to extend both legs out in front of me at a wide angle. So you're just sitting up nice and tall. You can stay up here, or you can walk it forward a little bit to where you feel a good stretch in your inner thighs. Forward folded, and you just go ahead and walk it back to where you're up nice and tall. Go ahead and bend your right leg in towards you. I'm just going to kind of put my left hand on my thigh. You can put it on your shin. I'm going to inhale the right arm up overhead, and I'm going to laterally bend over towards that left leg. Going to hold this for a couple more breaths. Then I'm going to bring my arm down, turn my torso to face that left leg. And again, you're sitting up nice and tall, toes are up towards the ceiling. If you'd like to, you can walk it forward a little bit to where you get a really good deep stretch in the back of your hamstrings, in the back of your calf. Just kind of work on your breathing, and with every exhale, maybe you can lean a little bit deeper, get a little bit closer towards that leg. Let's take one more deep breath here. And then slowly walk it back up. I'm going to bend my left leg in towards me, straighten the right leg out. Right hand's going to go on the right leg. Left arm goes up, overhead, reach up long. Bend over towards that right leg. One more breath here. Let's turn to face that right leg. Make sure you're up nice and tall, toes are up toward the ceiling, and then you can walk it forward if you'd like. And hold. And one more inhale. Exhale, blow it out, maybe bend a little bit more, and then you can walk it back up. I'm going to bring the bottoms of my feet together into a bound ankle pose or butterfly stretch, whatever you like to think of it as. And then if you'd like to, you can walk it forward and hold. And you can go ahead and walk that back up. So what I'm going to do next is put my right leg out in front of me. It's kind of like at a 90-degree angle, so where your shin is parallel to the top of your mat. And I'm going to bring my left leg and kind of stack it on top of that right leg. So it can kind of be on your shin, or if you can bring it up kind of towards your knee. We're going to go into a fire log pose. You can imagine why it's called that. It's going to stretch out those hips a lot. Let's just try and hold this sitting up nice and tall. If you want to make it a little bit deeper, you can walk it forward and you'll really, really feel that stretch in your hips. Okay, let's do one more breath here. Blow it out. So we're just going to switch. Left leg is out in front of you this time. Let's stack that right leg on top. Go ahead and just make sure your jaw's not clenched, because I'm really guilty for that. Just kind of relax the muscles in between your eyes and your forehead. And if you'd like to, you can walk it forward again. And one more breath here. Blow it out, walk it back up if you're leaned forward. Just go ahead and kind of come into that seated position. I bring my left hand on my right knee. Right hand's gonna go back behind me. I'm gonna just kind of gently twist and look back over my right shoulder. You can slowly untwist back to center. Opposite hand, opposite knee, left hand back behind you. Gently twist, look over that left shoulder. Slowly bring yourself back center again. And we have you just have your blocks nearby. We're just going to make our way onto our backs though. Just go ahead and bend both knees up towards your chest. You can kind of bring your nose towards your knees. You can rock back and forth if you'd like to. Place both feet back down onto the mat. Knees are bent. You're going to press into your feet. Lift up back into that bridge pose. And hold. Slowly lower your hips back down onto the mat. I'm going to pick my feet back up into that tabletop position with my knees. I'm going to let both knees fall over towards the right side. Your arms can come out to a T position. And then if you can, go ahead and look over towards your left. Gently bring the knees back up to center. Slowly let them fall over towards the left side. And let's look over towards the right. blocks if they're nearby. So we're going to do a supine bound angle pose. So for that, kind of bring your feet together. You're going to let your knees just fall out towards the side. And so what I'm going to do is just put my blocks. You can use whatever height you want to. I'm just going to put them kind of underneath my legs, under the knees, just to where I feel a little bit of a stretch, my inner thighs. But you don't want to be holding your legs up. You want to be able to let the blocks hold your legs up. So wherever you need to place them to where you feel like you can do that. So just go ahead and try to find that position. It's a relaxed pose. It's not a working pose. You can place your hands by your sides, on your belly, wherever you want them to be. We're just going to take a few breaths here. You can slowly remove the blocks out from underneath you. And bring your knees back up, feet on the mat. You can keep your knees bent up or you can straighten your legs all the way out. We're just going to go into Shavasana for a minute or two. Hands at your side or on your belly again. Let's go ahead and try to relax your jaw and relax your shoulders and your legs. Just kind of notice how your body feels. And just be proud of yourself for wanting to move your body, for wanting to do good things to it. Let's just take a few breaths here. times whenever you're ready, you can bend your knees back up. Slowly, gently make your way on your side. And once you're there, you can slowly press yourself back up into a seated position. And curl the legs underneath you. You can open your eyes if you haven't already. And thank you guys so much for coming. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.